Hello, my name is Cindy, and welcome to the Knitting Artisan podcast. This podcast is about knitting, crocheting, and all things yarn, knitting needles, and fiber arts. I'm starting this podcast because I don't have a large circle of knitting friends around me, so just sharing my love of the craft is important to me, and maybe picking up a few friends along the way. I also have a few friends that have asked me to teach them how to knit, so I may be uploading some videos about how to knit and crochet in the future as well. So a little about me. I am a mother of 2 children, and I stay home with them now. I adopted my daughter when she was 2. She's 20 years old now. And then I have a son that was a surprise, and he came along not very long after I adopted my daughter. He's 17 now, and maybe you'll get to meet them later. They're just wonderful children. And so with that, I think maybe I'll start off and share a few things, some things that I have knit in the past. So these are not recent finished objects, but just to show you a range of what I enjoy knitting. I'll start with this sweater. This is a Goldwing by Jennifer Steingass. So I used wool of the Andes, and I believe, no, I take that back. This is dove heather, the light gray you see here. This is wool of the Andes from Knit Picks. And this gorgeous heathered burgundy color you see here, this is Malbec heather in the Cascade 220 yarn line. By the way, I love ordering yarn from webs, especially if I'm going to be ordering quite a bit. If you don't know already, you can get discounts once you reach the $60 level and $120 level, so it's a great way to get a great price on yarn. But so anyway, yeah, this is my Goldwing by Jennifer Steingass. This is a colorwork sweater. I love the detailing that she put on her sleeves here, and then finished it off with an I-cord bind off here. And for you knitting connoisseurs, I know if you do color work, you're going to want to see my floats. So un momento, and I will show you what my floats look like. So, because if you knit color work, as you know, it's uber important to make sure your floats aren't too tight, because you don't want your work to pucker. So this is the inside of the work here. So yeah, this is my Jennifer Steingass Goldwing. She has a number of beautiful sweaters. One thing that I did modify on this one, because I wanted a little shaping at the waist, and this is just something that I did myself, was I kind of did like this, put this ribbing in a diamond shaped formation there, just so that it would come in at the waist just a little bit, and that would flatter me a little better. So yeah, I love this sweater. It's uber warm. And so that's some color work that I've done. And the next thing I'll show you is some brioche and double knitting. This is a beautiful scarf by Nancy Marchant. It's the Paris's Brioche, and I'm actually knitting another version of it right now. But Nancy she's come up with so many beautiful brioche designs, and she was inspired from a scarf she saw in the program Gilmore Girls. There's a character on the show named Paris, and if you've watched the show, you know. So I think that particular scarf was a color work version, but she put this in brioche and double knitting, which I think is so beautiful. So the brioche part is, this ribbing, like you see this 2-color ribbing here, and it's so squishy and soft. And then these diamonds you see, this is double knitting, and it's you know, you can see that here on the edge here, like when you're double knitting, you're actually knitting 2 layers of fabric at the same time. You have to be careful that you don't intermingle your colors, so that this is 2 layers of fabric, and I might have made the. I think at the end I left it so that they wouldn't come apart. But anyway, with double knitting, I mean, you can actually take the fabric here and it's literally 2 layers of fabric. This is the back side of it, and it's like the negative of a photograph with brioche. And so you want to use contrasting colors. But an interesting thing that I've noticed with brioche, and it's my opinion, it seems like I've seen people take colors and put them together that you wouldn't think go together at all, but it still looks fabulous. And I don't understand how that is, but I love brioche. It's a wonderful technique, and I've done double knitting a few times as well. So anyway, yeah, so this is my Paris's brioche here. I love this. It's beautiful. And this yarn, I know it's Knit Picks. I believe it's Capra from Knit Picks, and it's which is their DK weight MCN, and it is so soft. It's just gorgeous. And I just remembered there's actually a piece of lace work over there that I forgot to bring over here. So un momento, I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back with a scarf that I forgot to have over here already. I love this scarf. I love this designer. Why on earth she isn't more popular than she is, I don't know. But this is some lace work that I did, and I apologize, it's a little bit rumpledy. It's been put away for a while. But anyway, this is called Mad Blood, and the designer is Merrin Mace. Her moniker is the Lace Eater on Ravelry. She has a number of absolutely stunning patterns, so it's a crescent shawl. Yeah, this is fingering weight yarn, and I'm pretty sure I used the Webb's store, their store brand yarn. This is oh gracious, it's Valley Yarns, which is the name of their lines, and I know it's a silk blend. I can't remember the exact line, but anyway, it's the burgundy like color. But anyway, I just think this is so stunning. So it's another one of my favorite things. I enjoy knitting a wide variety of things. I do enjoy having mindless knits sometimes, because if you're a knitter, you have to have a project everywhere you go. It's impossible to just sit and do nothing. Our hands always have to be busy. So anyway, yeah, this is my Mad Blood by the Lace Eater on Ravelry. And I do have a finished object that I finished just as of this morning. Let me see if I can find, yes, the yarn. Okay, so this is a pair of socks, and I have the mate right here, so it's actually a finished object, not just a half finished object. So the way I knit mine, what I've started doing is I've started casting on 68 stitches, and then I knit 15 rows or rounds of 1 by 1 rib, and once I get about an inch into the leg, then I evenly space 4 decreases around, so that it goes down to 64 stitches, and the rest of it is a 64 stitch sock. I knit top down. My favorite heel is the Fish Lips Kiss heel. It fits me well. I love the look of it, and it's just my favorite. I have done the heel flap and gusset, and in some sock patterns, I think look really well with the heel flapped and gusset. You know, that some designers incorporate that into a beautiful patterning. But anyway, so yeah, this is just a vanilla sock, and I used a contrasting cuff, heel, and toe, and that is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the ash colorway. And then this is a self-striping yarn. This is by Patton's Croy. It's a little bit toothy. The colorway is gray-brown marl. Let me see if I can turn this around where you can see it. Where is it? Is that upside down? It's looking backwards in my camera, so I hope you can see that. But anyway, so this yarn knits up into this patterning, and I love it. And then I, you know, just your typical, you know, toe with decreases. Something I'm going to play around with, because the way the decreases look, I don't know, it's just not my favorite. And I may play around with putting a fish lips kiss toe if I could figure it out. But anyway, so yeah, I love how the shaping looks on these, and like I say, it fits my foot really well. So yeah, I just recently finished these as of this morning. All the ends are woven in and everything. And I'm actually going to go ahead and knit this up for a friend. So we're going to have matching socks. And then on to works in progress. I already told you that I was working on another one of these. This is also for a friend. So I love this color. She picked these colors out. It's just beautiful. So yeah, that's going to get shipped off to a friend. By the way, these needles, I cannot remember if this needle is actually Knitter's Pride or if I pulled it out of my Knit Picks set of needles, circulars. But just a tip, if you have Knit Picks needles and you're not crazy about the cable, they are manufactured by Knitter's Pride. So what I do is I've got extra Knitter's Pride cables that I ordered, and I use the Knitter's Pride cables with my Knit Picks needles. I just like them a lot better. It's all completely interchangeable, and I love that Knitter's Pride, all their cables are color coded. So I think this one is for the 24, makes a 24-inch length by the time you put 5-inch needle tips on it. So that's what I do. That's a tip for you. Oh, and this yarn, this is undyed, and then Wool of the Andes from Knit Picks, and this is the Baltic Heather colorway, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's a really good wool at a good price. And then the other thing that I'm currently working on, this is a blanket for a wedding gift. I have a lot of work to do. Oh my, do I have a lot of work to do. Let me get disentangled here. I've got a couple of ends to weave in. I like to weave in ends as I go so I don't have a huge job to do. Okay. Okay, so this is, oh gracious, now it's left me, but this is a blanket. What is the name of it? It's left me. I'm going to have to put it down in the comments below. Oh, it's frustrating, but this is the blanket for a new couple that's getting married. And now the needles I'm using, these are hands down my favorite. Like most people, these are Chiagoo red lace. I am using the interchangeables here, but I actually love Chiagoo so much that I just started buying fixed circulars. I love them that much. And I generally do have a lot of whips going. And so there's, like most knitters, I have quite a few more laying around. Maybe I'll pull more out later and show you on another future podcast. But I mean, hands down, I mean, the stainless steel, it's great. The joins are absolutely perfect. You don't get any snagging yarn. It's, I mean, the only thing sharper is a Heuser sharp, which, unless you're knitting some really fine lace, it's not that terribly important. But I love these sharp tips, and the cables are perfection. I mean, no memory at all. Sturdy. It's just, I just don't think you can do better than Chiagoo. So yeah, this is the, gracious, I knew it 3 minutes ago, this blanket, and it's supposed to be reversible. And it does really look good this way. Usually with cabling, it only looks good on the front side, but this detailing that is here, they're not slip stitches, and it's kind of like more of a wrap. But anyway, it's really pretty. And I love these roped cables that are just interloping among each other. But yeah, it really does create an interesting look on the back too. So a lot of work to get done, long way to go, and a short time to get there. And the yarn I'm using for that is, it is this Cascade 220. Oh, my daughter's home from work, so I apologize for that. My daughter just got home from work, and she was really excited about this squirrel that's been attacking a bird feeder at work, and she sent me some really cute pictures earlier. Maybe if I can figure out how to insert pictures, maybe I'll show you the squirrel. So anyway, it made her quite happy. So anyway, for the blanket, the yarn that I'm using is Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash, and this is, it doesn't give the colorway name on the label. It's color 359, and I believe it's the right there, I believe it's the Aspen colorway. So it's this heathered, I thought it was more of a white with a little bit of gray mixed in, but now that I get it, it looks a little bit more like a gray with some white heathered in. But anyway, it's a really nice color. It might be kind of close to Dove Heather from Knit Picks. Yeah, pretty close, actually. There's a little bit of difference, but so yeah, that's that. And from there, I've got a couple of acquisitions I'll show you. These were some Christmas presents I got for myself. Many of you are familiar with Sandy by the Lakeside. Her podcast is just so peaceful, and she shares the most beautiful things. So yes, I splurged, and I got myself one of her leather totes. I got the small one. My favorite colors in that are and I've got a project in here. Ooh, yarn. You know what? There's another whip in here I can show you. So anyway, this one is, gracious, this yarn. Go back in there. So this is the small leather tote, and this is in the avocado color. It's just beautiful, and her little logo there, it's just so classy. It's beautiful. So I was really excited to get this. And so yeah, the whip that I have in here, it's actually a scarf I started knitting. Where is the scarf? I take that back. I think my scarf is in a different project bag. But anyway, there was a little bit of yarn in here. This is actually part of a gradient set from Seven Sisters. And so, yeah, that's a scarf for myself. Y'all probably relate to having projects for yourself that you want to do, but your things end up on the back burner because you're always knitting for someone else. It's kind of my situation. And then I also got her they're smaller, these cylindrical zippered pouches, and I got the brown. I love this brown. So I'll be keeping some pins of some sort in here. Here's her It's just too lovely to cut off. Anyway, so it's still on there. Oh, and I just noticed she even included a little stitch mark, or a locking stitch marker there, but just, she's got it lined, and there's her label, By the Lakeside. So anyway, if you haven't watched Sandy by the Lakeside, definitely do. Her podcasts are just peaceful and beautiful, and I very much enjoy watching them. She's one of the few vlogmases that I watch. I have limited time. I would watch so many more if I could. And the other thing I got was, I got this needle pouch, and I already had the full set of 10-inch straights from Signature Needle Arts, and this is my preferred ending down there, topper, whatever you want to call it, and I like the stiletto tip. But I ordered a number of their double pointed needles as well, and I also got some 7-inch ones. I have more of the smaller sized ones, and I believe it's actually in a different needle case that I have my double pointed needles in. I've actually got one more set that's coming. They were having supply chain issues, so I'd ordered a set of 6, and they still owe me one more. I need to call them and ask about that. But yeah, I just went ahead and ordered one of their needle cases as well, and it's really good and sturdy. I'm glad I did. I almost didn't, but this is quite lovely. So anyway, so I guess that's it for now. And take a sip of my coffee. I got this mug around Christmas time as well. This is, there's a deli in town, and they sell some pottery from a local maker. So I love this a great deal. And with that, I'm gonna bid you adieu, and I'll see you next time. And if you enjoyed the content, please like and share. Talk to me in the comments. What are your favorite needles, and what projects are you working on? And I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.